Hi everyone, I'm just here with a garden tour. This is like, you know, a refresh, kind of a cleanup is starting as things are starting to look kind of rough, and I know kind of the season's over for some things. I've been pulling them. So I'll show you a few highlights in the garden right now before things start getting cut back and pulled with the incoming season. So here is what I've done with the front. I switched out the planters, added some pumpkins, gourds, mums. I got everything kind of in bud form because they're not a long bloomer, so kind of wanted to extend it. Also, I did get this heuchera right here. I got that on clearance. So it was actually one, and I divided it into the two. It's a bronze something. I don't know. I didn't even have specs on it, but it was a pretty color. I love heucheras. So I have that. And then this is a tiarella that I pulled from the side garden that we'll go over. And so I'm just overview. The Victoria Salvia is looking fantastic. It's funny because I started with 1-inch plugs and it's a little overwhelming right now. I would have broken this up with more color had they had color earlier in the season. So it's kind of one of those faith in plantings. They're so inexpensive when you buy them in the 1-inch plugs, but they take, I feel like, a long time to kind of get going. And right now they're kind of at peak. Again, this started from a 1-inch plug. It is probably a good 2 feet by 2 feet. That one and that one right there. There's this spirea. It was the first year in the ground. Can't complain. Doing well. This is a rose that I transplanted from the backyard. It was just getting smothered, and there's a weed behind it. These knockout roses are starting to flesh out some new growth and putting on some fall buds. But look at the azalea. It is completely I hacked this back so hard late spring, and it's really doing great. It's now too wide. So I will next spring kind of cut it down from the base to kind of shape it up, because I kind of still want it to be like that. But it really is one of the only winter structures I have up front. So that, and then the sky pencil hollies that are totally different growth rates. So yeah, I'm gonna give these another maybe year or two, and if they never really fully even out, I probably could just cut this one back and kind of keep it to that one. But if they never really thrive, I probably will change it to some type of hydrangea, or I don't know, maybe a rose or something like that. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted on that. This lamb's ear is gonna go. I like it, but I don't like it in this spot. It's just kind of there. So this whole area is gonna be reworked depending on what I find on fall clearance. This is a wee white hydrangea that has a few new buds. And then the old buds are super crusty, and I need to cut those off. These hydrangeas have put on quite a bit of growth. No second flush of blooms. It just did like 1 or 2 early bloomers, and that's it. But overall, the growth on it has been successful. So there's that. These is beautiful. This is a twist and shout. These are aged blooms, and they are absolutely gorgeous. So even though the reblooming, I think I had one bloom that was a newer one. But it is actually, these aged blooms are gorgeous. So so I'm not upset that it didn't fully like flush out with a second set of buds. This is an invincible that is looking kind of rough. I think, I planted it in August. We've got quite a bit of rain. I don't know if it was getting too much rain, because now it has too much water. First it was wilted, now it has like yellow spots. I don't know now if it's too much water, whatever. But it's only been in the ground for a few weeks. I feel like next year and the year after will kind of be the test. If it's looking like this every year, then yeah, it's definitely the wrong spot. But I'm going to give it some time in this location. Heucheras are flushing out beautifully with some new growth. I started cutting back some of the hostas because they were just looking really tattered, really rough, really exhausted. Some are looking good, others not so much. Some are cut back. I think I'm going to rename this the H Garden because it's filled with hydrangeas, hostas, heucheras, hellebore. I feel like there was another H. But so yeah, that's kind of the theme over here. Look at this new bloom, beautiful. That is the Penny Mac. 0 flowers this year. Bit of a bummer. But again, it put on a good amount of growth. So hopefully as it grows bigger and stronger, hopefully it will get strong enough for our winters is my hope. This is a Monrovia. I forget. It's like, maybe it's a Newport. I don't really remember the name, to be honest. But it never rebloomed, which is okay. Again, the aged blooms are really pretty. This is the Blue Enchantress. Look at that. He smokes. Beautiful. It's like a purpley. I live in the city, so you're hearing the garbage. This one's really pretty. So the age blooms are really pretty. The new blooms are gorgeous. This put on a good amount of growth this year. Very happy with this hydrangea. This is a candy corn spirea that I think is not loving its life. It should have been putting on some fall color. I don't know if I need to cut it back. Again, it's its first year in this spot, so could be the spot, could be the plant, could be the soil, could be 100 things. So I'm leaving it for now. No big deal. This was a, what was it called? Black-eyed Susan vine, coconut peel. Yeah, no blooms. I don't think it's getting enough sun. So I might try it again next year in a different spot that gets all day sun. And then maybe, because I would like to kind of hide this chain link fence. Not a big fan of the chain link, but that's all right. So we are able to replace it with something prettier. Thinking of having some kind of growing vine on it. Try again next year. This is the dumping ground. So this is the quick fire hydrangea they moved over here. That looking a little chlorotic, but overall it's doing fine considering it was transplanted in the heat of summer. And this summer Y9 bark's also looking a lot better than when I planted it, so I'm happy with the move on that. Those are some daily leaves that just needed to move. And so this might be a next year project, or it might just be a continual dumping ground until I figure out how I want to design over here. But this is just the dumping bed, that's what I'm calling it. The porch pots are done. All the potted plants that I have in the back are done. I'm calling it quits on them. See, I took out the creeping Jenny from this pot. The geraniums were doing okay, so I left them. But everything else I took out. I took out the coleus, I took out the lantana. They were done. Super root bound. They just weren't doing great, so I pulled them out. Over here, I'm going to be reconfiguring that depending on what I find on the 75% off clearance when that comes up. Hopefully I don't miss that sale. But I'm thinking hydrangeas over here, maybe the pop star, because they stay short, and this is a very weird sun area. Like this side gets more sun than that side, so as you can see the sedums, like they're stretching on that side. They're actually stretching on both sides. They're not doing great. Might be a water thing too, because it probably gets the runoff from here. So I mean, it's fine. I mean, the sedum has done its job. This was zero money investment. These are just sedums that I just divided and put over here. So I'm totally fine with what they did. And it looks great. Well, it looks nice. It looks presentable. But long term is probably not the best plant for this area, but it's doing its job. I just showed you this bed recently. Pulled some of the annuals that were over there. These annuals took forever to start growing, but they're doing okay. This hippo plant, I'm not sure what it's called, polka dot plant, I guess it's more a common name. Weird growth habit, super leggy, and it's in shade. It gets part sun to shade, so strange, but you know, it's fine. They were super small plugs that took forever to go, and now they're just kind of like, it's almost like this should be the front. The begonias didn't really quite bulk up and as I thought that they would, so, and that grew way more leggy than I thought I would be, more mounded. So lesson learned with that. Oh, here's a big, massive, oh my gosh, these good for nothing. Look at that. This is a Rose of Sharon everywhere. Your days are numbered. Your days are numbered. All right, again, this is Bloom Shock. Oh, finally, a bud. I hope it doesn't. It has time to actually bloom, and that will be my only Bloom Shock bloom for 2023. And it's September 26th, so I don't even know if that thing's gonna come to full bud. But it's okay. It's okay, because at least it did something. It did something. It tried. A for effort. Those two are Summer Crushes. That's a Pop Star. It is a true rebloomer. That's probably the most reblooming. Well, again, it's our first year, so I don't know. So we'll see next year how it does in comparison to the others. This is a salvia that I moved that I'm pretty sure is dead, and I killed it. This is a salvia that, you know what, might as well do it now. I've been pulling the annuals in this bed. And look, it was hiding this little jerk. Oh, there's another one, goodness gracious. Well, you're here for a tour, not me pulling weeds, not me pulling Roses of Sharon. Look at this branch, isn't that fantastic? Yeesh. All right, so anyway, this is the Weigela. As you see, I pulled a good amount of the zinnias. They got powdery mildew, so I did pull them. Oh, look at that one, still there and has powdery mildew. That's fantastic. So I left a few, and that's still, that got destroyed by the Japanese beetles. So next year I do know to get traps for those little jerks, because they're killing quite a few of my favorite plants. Here's a dahlia that I probably should pull. Definitely deadhead, but I pulled a dahlia that was over here. It's really pretty, but it kind of collapsed. I haven't done a good job staking. You have a few dahlias, a few zinnias still left that I haven't pulled. The snapdragons haven't pulled. That I will repeat. I think I'll do it a little differently next year, but definitely want to repeat the snapdragons. Super pretty. That one's gone to seed, so I need to pull that. And then here's the bird bath again, resurfaced. It does need to be cleaned. It does need to be leveled, and I need to do something different with these bricks. I'm thinking that what I might do is, once this is gone, bump this out a good, another, I don't know, 2 to 3 feet in some areas, and just make this one curve instead of a wave. I'm going to completely configure this monstrosity, hot mess of a vegetable garden. I will keep that path because I do like it, but I'm thinking it needs raised beds somehow. It needs raised beds. So I'm going to figure that out, and how to build them, what I'm going to create in that. But I think just with the pests, with the weeds, it just need to be brought up and kind of smothered. And nothing really thrived in the soil. So I think it really just needs to be completely gutted and amended, for sure. So yeah, so this is a mess. So it'll be completely reconfigured. This and its weeds will be leaving us, say goodbyes. So while I'm here, hold that. Again, I know you didn't come here for weed pulling and garden cleanup, but it's probably all over the place. But here is a butterfly bush that I bought on clearance and was getting completely smothered by all the dahlias that were shrouding it and zinnias that were on top of it. But it is a very pretty bloom, and this will stay. This gets about 4x4 full size, so I will keep this area clear next year because this will fill in this whole space, get about yay tall at some point. So I think that will be really pretty, especially next to this when it's not a skeleton. And yeah, I think it'll be really, really great. All right, I'm gonna show you one last spot in the garden. I'm gonna try and contain myself from pulling more stuff. Oh, but look at this hydrangea tree. Look at the color. Gorgeous. Ooh, there's two more things I want to show you. Two more things. All right, two more areas, I should say. So this butterfly bush finally coming into blue. It's a Pugster blue. I had to cut it down to the base, but it's finally blooming. That's a carnation that I moved. That's the Powwow Wildberry, but look at the pretty fall color. Beautiful. Some cut back salvia. This is the Berry Awesome, I think it was. Looks great. It's the only one that wasn't eaten alive by Japanese beetles. But look at this combination. This is the Victoria Blue Salvia. These I bought later, that's why they're so much smaller than the other ones in the front. And then look at this. This is Zenith something. This is a coneflower that I bought on clearance. There's a video I have on that. And this is the bloom, but look at that next to the bloom. Gorgeous. And then these are red knockout rose, so it looks really pretty. No, huge red. This is kind of more of a cool red, like a hot pinkish, but it's very red in the spring. Either way, I do like it with the blue and the yellow. It's kind of my jam right now. This I gotta reconfigure, though it looks really good. There's way too much of the same color pink. So I'll probably be moving some of these salvia, which is really just kind of a placekeeper for now. I'll probably donate them to my church because there's a spot that I could kind of fill in. But anyway, this hibiscus, man, isn't it sad? Isn't it super sad? I bought it for the foliage that's like this. Like, see? It's the green with the white and then the pink on the edges. And Japanese beetles literally had a whole buffet of it. And it still bloomed beautifully, but I bought it for the foliage, and the foliage looks like garbage. So, anyway, win some, lose some. But look at this reblooming. This is the Rosie Returns. And she's returning in all her glory. Super pretty. These daylilies are going to get moved because this will get 5x5, I think. So right now at the top, it's probably about 3 feet. I don't know how small they are at the base, but I do think I need to move these daylilies. If not this next year, definitely by the following. I could. The easiest thing to do would just be to bump this out another. I won't have space on the other side. That'll be my neighbor's lawn. but I could bump this out to here and then just do a bank of daylilies all there. That's one option. Or create a whole nother space. Another idea I have, which my husband doesn't know about, and he probably won't know about unless he watches this video, is potentially trying to screen this out, doing zinnias all here. And kind of having a big, all the colors, zinnia from Seat would be, it's kind of my idea. That would cost literally like $15 and an afternoon, and it would be so amazing. This is just, it's had better days, but this is the Quickfire Fab, and it is pushing out more buds in September. It's amazing. There's another one over there, see? And there's like a white salvia that somehow got into the one I bought, the Victoria Blue. Isn't that funny? Just let it live its life. It's beautiful. Throwing everything off, but she's beautiful. The sweet petunias are looking rough. Might be some bug activity. Might be some, but it is. I mean, they're gonna get pulled. If not this weekend, in the next week or two. We don't have a frost looking like yet. Usually we get it the first week of October, second week of October. So it's really any day. No, next week or two. And then those will get pulled. So, as you know, I'm kind of giving up on this bed. Don't really know what to do with it. But look at these little hotties. Look at the color. Look at that fall color. So pretty. So pretty. There's a butt ton of weeds over there. As you can see, I haven't touched this bed in weeks. It is a very new bed. This I created late winter. So, just the fact that there's things in here that are blooming and didn't die is definitely a win. Juga looking great. Elephant ears, which is something I just put there because I had space and I had them. And I really love it. This is the Dave Ramsey. It has a bud down there. Isn't that fun? Dave Ramsey hydrangea that I planted in a video a few weeks ago. And that's pretty much it for right now. The little hotties are just absolutely, I mean, I drive by this, I pull in right here and it's such a beautiful sight at this time. They were late bloomers. I mean, this probably bloomed in August. Goodness, started budding in August. But it's kind of nice because I have the Quickfires that bloom super early. And then I have Little Lime Punch that also blooms and turns early. The Quickfire Fab over there that blooms early. The Limelight is a little bit later, but still ahead of this one. So it's nice to have that, that succession, I guess you could say, of the hydrangea bloom. So happy with that. And then this is the Blushing Bride. No buds, but I did buy it this year and it had buds on it already. But it seems to have rooted in, seems to be doing well. It's green. Some of the leaves are changing, but that's pretty much all of them at this point in the year. So I think that's going to be it for today. I just want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll show you my other. There's a little more pumpkin action. Excuse the, how it is. So I wish you all a happy fall and hope you're having a great day wherever you are. Thanks for watching. Bye.